Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. We are live. We are streaming from Johannesburg. Welcome to everybody that's on here. I'm grateful you're here. It's going to be an awesome, 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 awesome night. So, tonight we're going to start off with something interesting. Tonight, I'm going to start off and I'm going to make a statement for everybody. I want to ask a question, actually, not make a statement. I want to ask a question. What is the biggest obstacle between where you are right now and your next breakthrough? What if I told you that what you think it is most probably absolutely not what it is? See, most of you guys are thinking, possibly the next thing between where I want to be and where I am now could possibly be competition. Or maybe it's internal resources, capabilities, or skills, your circumstances, qualifications, all of these things that run through our mind, which we keep repeating to ourselves, which is the gap between where I want to be and where I am now. What if I told you that's just a pure, absolute, basic lie? But here's the secret about that lie and what makes that lie a little bit different. That's a lie you've been telling yourself for so long that you've started to believe it. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm going to give you a little bit of a key how to unlock that invisible cage that you've actually built around yourself, that you've created for yourself with your own little lie that you're telling to yourself. And I want to help you just breaking out of that cage, how to unlock it, how to stop playing small and become the version of you that you actually know you can be. Are you ready to step out of that cage and be that amazing version of you? So, from me, Dion, welcome to Limitless, our first live stream podcast that we're running. My name is Dion. My surname is Groenewald. I'm the owner and founder of Action Factory. And we'll be running a live session at this time on this weekday, Monday, 7 o'clock, every single week. And there's one main purpose for this. Look at the name. What side is it? There we go. Limitless. We're going to break the ceiling of your own limits and we're going to go limitless. So, the question that we really need to ask is what is the differentiating factor between mediocrity and phenomenal? What is it that keeps so many coaches, so many people in the personal development industry, so many people around the world? What keeps them caged in? What keeps them limited to not really being the person or the version of themselves that they can be? What is that secret? What do I need as a human being to break out of my shell, out of my comfort zone, into just a completely new level of amazingness? What is required? And this platform is where we're going to talk about it every Monday from 7 o'clock onwards. We'll play with the idea, we'll break down the concept, and we'll learn what is it that makes me a unique, amazing human being. So I hope everybody is ready. Are you ready to find out, to learn, to explore? What is the limits that's been holding you back? What are the things that you can do to become a better version of you? What is the one secret that's been holding you back for so many years? What's that one lie you've been telling yourself? So, to give you an understanding, what are we going to do on this platform? Well, number one, it's not going to be just a feel-good platform. It's not going to be a platform where we're going to try and just make you feel fantastic about yourself and give you words that's going to come through pink and fluffy and just be music to your ears. We're going to teach you systematically and slowly how to rewire yourself completely. What is the operating system of you as an individual work like? What is it that's going to make you a better version of you? What is really required to go to the next level? So, if you're a coach, if you're an impact maker, if you're a public speaker, if you run events, if you are someone that just wants to become a better version of you, this is the platform every Monday evening from 7 till 8. We're going to dive deep. We're going to unpack tools. We're going to look at some insights. We're going to have some amazing coaches and change makers come onto this platform and have some conversations with us. We're going to unlock some of their potential and share the secrets with you. So if you believe that you are capable of upgrading yourself, if you believe that it's within your framework, your desire, your passion, your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations to become just a little bit of a better version of you, this is your platform. So all the change makers, all the people that are struggling to become that better version, let's go. Let's go raw, let's go unfiltered. Let's talk to some of the what I like to call the industry disruptors, people that take the conventional approach and just rewire and just change everything from a completely amazing different approach. So that's what this podcast is about. So why? Where does it come from? Well, I've been in this industry for 17 years. I've been dealing with people for many years. I've been assisting people to become better versions of themselves and to break through those barriers we tend to build for ourselves. I started Action Factory in 2008 and I've been running with it since then. This is what I do for a living. But here's something that I want you to realize. I've probably worked with, I would say very easily, at least over 3,000 coaches. I don't know how many thousands of people. But there's a pattern. There's always a pattern, isn't there? There's a pattern that I've noticed over the years. And this pattern is something that I do believe is a reason a lot of people are stuck, that they just don't break through the ceiling of where they can, really, really go. So let's talk about what is that pattern? What is it that I've observed? And it's a simple thing. It's just one thing, one simple little pattern I've picked up. There's a limitation in each one of us that we've agreed to live with. Can I say that again? There's a limitation in all of us that we have agreed to live with. And I want to unpack this today. Tonight, we're just going to break it down a little bit. Let's call it the invisible cage theory if you really want to give it a name. Let's just unpack it for a couple of minutes and really look at it. So the easiest way to unpack it is to use the elephant story. And we all know the elephant story, but I am going to repeat it. The elephant story goes, if I take a baby elephant and I nail a peg into the ground and I put a chain to the baby elephant, it's going to tug on the chain, it's going to try and pull the peg out of the ground. But because it's a baby elephant, it doesn't really have the power to completely break free. So it's going to be limited. And this is limitless. So let's figure out what's happened here. So some of us, like a baby elephant, at some stage in our lives got chained down. And I know you want to know how that happened, so I'll give you the secret. But let's go back to the elephant and just see what happens. So this baby elephant is chained down, peg in the ground, chain attached to the neck. And year in, year out, it becomes used to the chain in and the peg in the ground. So even though it grows stronger, larger, even though it gets to a point where it could very easily just pull the peg out of the ground, break free from the chain, and find its freedom, the elephant mind starts to believe that the chain is unbreakable. It starts to believe that the peg in the ground cannot be pulled out. So what happens inside the elephant's mind, it starts believing the invisible cage is real. It starts believing that the chain is stronger than what it is. And even though that elephant can eventually reach, what, 2, 3, 4, 5 tons in weight, very powerful animal, it will not try to break free from the peg or the chain because it's been conditioned. Now here's the secret, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? We all have invisible stakes in the ground. We all have some chain that is holding us back, that has been conditioned into our belief system so strongly that for some reason we just don't break that chain. There's a lie that we told ourselves about our capabilities. There's a lie that we told ourselves about our skills. There's a lie that we told ourselves about our potential. There's a lie that we've told ourselves about what we can actually achieve in life. And the lie is that we are not as good as we are. That lie is a invisible cage that's holding us down. Now, here's the secret behind the lie. You see, we don't tell ourselves these lies when we are at our most powerful. You see, the elephant cannot be conditioned to believe that the chain is strong enough and the peg is going to hold it down by the time it is outgrown, by the time it's a mature elephant. You can only fool the brain when the elephant is at its weakest. It's when we are in a vulnerable state, when we are weak, when we are underdeveloped. That's the time in our lives as humans where we start believing some of the lies. But those lies are not permanent stories about our lives. They're not engraved in our destiny. They're not a permanent tattoo in our future. They are temporary situations that might be true at the moment when we are experiencing some sense of weakness. Now, let's be honest. I've not met a person that has not at some stage in their lives experienced a little bit of a dip, experienced momentarily state of weakness, not being as phenomenal, as fantastic, as forthcoming, as powerful as they potentially can. We all hit a speed wobble on this journey of life. We all find ourselves struggling just a little bit, a fraction of the time in our absolute reality. And I don't believe that that is the fullness of our destiny. I believe that is simply a temporary setback. But a lie creeps in, ladies and gentlemen. A lie creeps in and says, this is who I am. This is my identity. This is my character. We've all been afraid at some stage where we withdrew from a situation. But it doesn't mean that we don't have the strength to overcome a similar situation later on in life. So, what is the invisible cage? What is your chain that is holding you down, even though you've now blossomed into the magnificent fullness of who you are? What is that significant reality that you've allowed to creep into your mind and be engraved in your life as a permanent tattoo in your destiny? What is it that you are allowing yourself to believe about yourself that's holding you back to become the best version of you? What is that simple lie you've been telling yourself? Because you've been repeating it so many times, over and over, over and over, that eventually we start to believe it. So here's what we need to understand. Number one, that lie creeps in when we are at our weakest, not when we are at our powerful. The lie creeps in not based on our expertise, not in our prime years, not when we are fully functional. The lie creeps in when we are at our weakest, when we are vulnerable, and I want to say when we are young. And the lie is simply a matter of that I'm not good enough. So, what are some of the lies that we do tend to tell ourselves? Well, the one lie that I've heard quite a lot is I need to know everything before I can charge premium prices for who I am and for what I do. I want to repeat that. I need to know everything before I can charge more. Or one of the lies that I hear, because I teach coaches and NLP practitioners. One of the biggest lies I hear is before I can actually see a client, I need to practice all the techniques and processes I've learned on this course. That's a lie that we believe, and I want you to understand the context. We believe in the early phase of our career development. So let's look at coaches. Coaches are people that are empaths. Coaches are people that want to impact the lives of others. Coaches are people that want to assist other people to become better versions of themselves. So a coach goes on a course. They go onto our website, Action Factory Global, and they see we train coaches, we teach NLP, we certify, and we do all the nice things. So they come on our course. But now towards the end of the course, they start thinking about, I need to now start seeing clients. I need to now put myself out on social media. I need to start advertising my services. I need to start generating income from this because there's a career path I'm going to go down. This is something I'm going to do. So at that stage, I think you would agree with me, they're still in the learning process. They're still on a course. They're not certified yet. They're not completely finished with the training. They're still busy, but they're towards the end of the training. There's a moment of weakness. There's a moment of vulnerability. There's a moment where doubt comes in, and the doubt says, am I going to know all this stuff? Am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to become the change catalyst? Am I going to be able to be the person that can stand on a platform and speak to an audience? Can I run a workshop? Will people laugh at me? Will I be good enough? All of these stories go through our heads. And it's in that time that we create our own invisible cage. It's at that time that we hit our own peg into the ground and we attach a chain to ourselves. It's in that moment that we say that our minds believe it and we repeat it often enough so it becomes an absolute truth. Because here's the thing, unless you pull that peg out of the ground, you are chained down. Can I repeat that? Unless you pull the peg out of the ground, you are still chained down. You see, there's not going to be a magic moment that's come from the outside. No unicorn is going to fly over your house and sprinkle magic dust over your destiny. Nothing magnificent on the outside is going to happen that's going to tell you you are ready now. That is an internal decision of conviction. That is something you've got to make on the inside of you and say, you know what? I've gone through this course. Logically, when I think about everything, I don't think that I am perfect. I don't think I know everything. But you know what? I would much rather start than wait for perfection because that's the lie we tell ourselves. I cannot charge more. I cannot start. I cannot do this because I need to wait for perfection. I need to master everything that I've learned. I need to become the expert. I need to become like the person that's been doing it for 20 years because if my client sees my own personal vulnerability and authenticity, then maybe I'll have a heart attack or the world will stop turning around its axis. No, 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 no. There's a moment where you need to decide, I'm putting this chain out of the soil. I'm breaking this chain. This cage that's been holding me back, I'm the one that's in charge. I'm the one that's in charge. Unless you make that decision and you take that decision and you take the leap of courage forward and do something, you're going to stay chained down. That stake's going to stay in the ground. You are the only person that can make that change. You're the only person that can make that change. And I know, who am I? Imposter syndrome. Who am I? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe there's not enough time. Maybe if what, but maybe. There's too many maybes. What if you step up and you do and you act? What's the worst that's going to happen? The worst that's going to happen, you're going to learn something from it. You're going to have an experience, and it might just be a phenomenal experience. The worst that can happen is you can take a leap of faith, apply courage, and something amazing could happen. What's the worst that can happen? So, what would happen if you did try? What could happen if you didn't fail? What is the possibility of you actually stepping up in the midst of the uncertainty? Make an absolute decision, act on it, do something about it, measure the results, take feedback from the results, tweak it and improve on it. Because that's how life really, really works. Because here's a secret. I've never met any person that was born as a baby in this world, couldn't walk, couldn't crawl, just lay there, and then all of a sudden got up and walked. Have you met any baby like that? Have you seen any baby do that? never attempt to walk, and all of a sudden, one day, walks perfectly as if they've been walking for years. Have you ever met a person that's done that? Have you ever seen a baby do that? No. How does a baby learn to walk? The first thing we need to realize, and I've watched a lot of babies, I've had a few of my own. Well, not me have them, my wife had them, we had them. I don't know what's the political correct statement here. I watched a lot of babies try and walk. They fall a lot. They stumble. They make a lot of mistakes. But here's the secret behind it. Every fall, every fall is a lesson learned. Every fall is a little bit of feedback they gather. Every fall is the next step towards walking as if they've been walking for a long time. You see, one of the biggest lies we've been told in this world is that we are capable of failing. I don't believe we are. Babies don't believe it. Why should we? We're not capable of failing. We are capable of learning. We are capable of taking feedback, of learning from what we've done, seeing the results of what we've done, and then applying the feedback and being a better version of ourselves, of stepping up and doing a little bit better. So here's my challenge to all of you change makers out there. When is the best time to pull out that peg? When is the best time to break that invisible cage, to break that chain you've allowed yourself to be chained to? When is the best time to reframe the lie that you've got in your head that you are not good enough? Now, I'm going to say this again. No one's coming on a white horse to save you. There's no unicorn going to fly over your house and sprinkle magic dust on you, and the next morning you're going to go, I'm now ready. I can now do it. That's not going to happen. The secret to achievement in this world is in the midst of the uncertainty, in the midst of us not being absolutely convinced that we're good enough. In the midst of all of that, apply courage, rise up, take action, do, put yourself out there. That's the secret. That's how we go from where we are to where we want to be. If you had a crystal ball and you could look into your future and you could alter that future, you can rub the crystal ball and say, all right, create a magnificent me 5 years from now. What would that magnificent you look like? What is that person doing that you're not doing at the moment? Now, here's the reason why that person is doing what you're not doing, because you are still chained down with that invisible lie you've been telling yourself, where the potential version of future you, oh, you've set that one free. Now, hold on a seckie. Hold on a seckie. If you can imagine what the future you looks like, the only difference between where you are and what that future you looks like that you can imagine, that you can dream of, that you would like to see happen, that you would love to experience, that maybe even you'd like to meet. If you can imagine that future you is already inside of you. The difference is not 5 years. The difference is a decision you need to make now. It's as simple as that. The difference between the potential you 5 years from now and the current you is the power that invisible chain and that imaginary spike has over you. Because that invisible chain and that invisible spike, imaginary spike, is something that you installed a little bit in your past. So my question is, if you're the grand master that installed it, surely you are the grand master that can remove it. If you are the person that had the thought of the limitation, you are also the person can have the thought of breaking that limitation. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one person standing between the potential magnificent you and the current you, and that's the limited you. The limited you is that imaginary cage you've built around yourself. Your gap between where you are now and where you could be is not skill, it's not experience, it's not courage, even. It's not motivation, most certainly not, because motivation is a fleeting emotional state that comes and goes. The difference between where you are now and that magnificent you 5 years from now is permission. I want to repeat that word. It's permission. Are you prepared to give yourself permission to pull out that invisible stake, break that chain, and become the better version of you? So, how do we give ourselves permission is the question. I heard you say that out loud in your mind. How do I do that, Dion? So, let's take you through a very, very simple and very basic process. Number one, identify your stake. Say what? Yes, identify your stake. In other words, what is one goal, and it can be not that big a goal, it can be a very, very simple, achievable goal that you can achieve in a couple of days. What's one goal that you've been avoiding? One goal you've been avoiding because you decided it's not for you. Maybe it's for someone else. Maybe you're not good enough. What's one goal that you've been avoiding because that imaginary chain, that imaginary stake has been holding you back? Now ask yourself the next question. When did you first decide that it's not possible? So let's understand that question. Let's put it into context. So your brain came up with a goal, something you want to achieve, right? How did it come up with that? Oh, it had to think it. So how did it think it? Oh, the thoughts had to be in your mind. Where in your mind? You had to have the thoughts, that strategy inside of you already to be able to think about what you want to achieve. But then your brain came up and said, no, 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 no. No. I can think about it. I know the strategy. I know how to go from here to there, but no, I'm not good enough. You had to hit that stake into the ground. Sorry, you had to. No one else did. You had to. Maybe someone said something similar to you, but you still had to believe it. You had to embrace it. You had to take it and believe it and make it your own. So, what is that goal you want to achieve? And when did you decide that you're not good enough? When did you decide there's a stake in the ground? When did you decide it's not possible? What is the evidence that's telling you in your current life? What is the evidence that's telling you in your current life that that stake is real? Now, are you ready for this? Now you need to ask one question. What is the one simple thing I need to do to prove all of that a lie, to prove that the stake is a lie, to prove that the chain is a lie, to prove that reaching that goal, that I'm not good enough, that the good enough part is a lie? What is that one thing you need to do that's going to convince you I can move forward, I can stand up like a little baby tries to walk, I can take one step. And if I take one step, I can take a second. And eventually I can walk and I can run and I can move and I can be. So one thing, just one thing that you need to do right now, today, in the next day, 24 hours. Don't postpone anything longer than that. What's the one thing that you need to do that is between that magical, magnificent, amazing goal that you've got? One thing you need to do that's going to move you from where you are towards that goal. Not achieve it yet. We don't learn to walk by laying down and being capable of walking. We learn to walk by taking one step, falling, learning from the fall, getting up, trying again until we get it right. How do I go from where I am to that magnificent version of me? You get up, you do one thing. Allow yourself to fall if that needs to happen, but learn from the fall. Adapt what you've done. Take feedback. Alter your behavior. Do it slightly different. Move again. 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 The difference between you right now and your achievement, it's a couple of falls. It's a couple of moments of learning, of feedback, of realizing, well, this doesn't work the way I wanted to. Let's improve on it. It's that journey of doing, learning, doing, learning, doing, learning, doing, learning. The lie that we've created, the cage we've put ourselves in, is that we believe we jump from where we are to perfection. Never seen anybody do that. I've not experienced it in my own life. I've not experienced it with the thousands of people that's crossed my path, that I've coached, that I've trained. Every single person that has reached a magnificent level of any skill and capability, there's a time where they were not capable, where they tried, failed, but didn't see it as failure. They saw it as feedback, and they tried again, and they tried again. And every single time they tried, they did just a little bit better, just a little bit better. In other words, how do I break that chain? You tug on it, you test its strengths, you pull on it. And if you pull enough on it, and if you tug on it often enough, if you test its strength, if you are that strong, which you are, eventually you'll realize if I do it this way, I'll pull that peg out of the ground. If I do it in a certain way, I can break that chain and I can become that magnificent version of me. You are limitless. The difference between where you are at the moment and the limitless magnificence that you are, that you have, that amazing potential version of you. The difference between those two is the lie that you've been telling yourself that you shouldn't take the first step, that you're not good enough yet for the first step. You see, the lie is not that you are not good enough and you've got to wait. The lie is that little lie that I shouldn't take the first step, that I shouldn't at least do something. The lie is that I have to wait for the moment of perfection to take the leap. It doesn't happen. It is those small steps. And you know what? Fall. And when you fall, fall gloriously. As you are going down, don't go, oh no, go, wee. Really embrace the experience of the realness of this journey of life. Take that step, apply courage in the midst of all the fears and the anxiety. Apply the courage, just do. You know what? You're going to bump your toes. You're going to fall. You're going to stumble. You're not going to be perfect the first time. This is my first live stream, my first podcast. I'm not perfect. I've been talking and training and teaching for 17 years. And if there's any professional speakers or presenters out there, I'm absolutely very certain you can watch this and you're going to be able to give me a magnificent list of things that I can improve on. You can identify a number of areas where I've stumbled, bumped my toe, and probably fallen on this session. You know what? Whee! I'm on the journey. I'm limitless. I understand the principle that perfection is something we seek. I get it. But I would much rather take a vast amount of imperfect steps and eventually get to where I want to go than stay chained down with the invisible chain, with the invisible peg that's holding me back. I would much rather be someone known for courage, tempting, taking chances in the midst of the fear, be vulnerable, but act. I would much rather set an example to others and those around me of someone that doesn't know all the answers, but I'm prepared to test. I'm prepared to attempt and to be known as someone that's, well, that's where he was when he was 32. He's still there. He's 63 now. Shame he's been chained down. Woe is me. I'm not going to be that person. Neither are you. So here's my question. Where's that goal? And what is that first step? And what is that second step? And what is that next step? And the next step? And the next step? And when are you going to take them? Are you ready? So I don't know where you're watching this, on which platform. Right now we're streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And this is being recorded. Some of you guys are watching it on the podcast. But I want you to take the courage, commit right now. Not tomorrow, not later, right now. Because I want to celebrate your breakthroughs with you. I want to enjoy the journey of you achieving your limitless potential. I want to celebrate your wins. But for me to be able to celebrate your wins with you, you need to make them public. I want you right now to commit on whatever platform you are. If there's a potential of you loading a comment, I want you to comment on what is that one first step you are going to take. Are you ready to commit to that? Are you prepared to commit to it? Are you courageous enough in the midst of all the fears that's going through your brain that's telling you, I can't do this, I'm not sure if I can? Are you prepared to commit and step up and become that potential limitless version of you? In the comments, put in what is it you are going to do. I'm going to switch my screens. I want to see if I can find all the comments. This is my first time I'm doing the streaming, so it's a learning experience for me. So guess what? I need to learn like everybody else, and I've got no idea where to see all the comments. I know they're supposed to be on here. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Wee! All right, here we go. Yes. All right. So I've got a couple of people start believing in myself. Guys, it's not just about believing in yourself. What is the actual step you're going to make? By the way, it's spring day. I spoke to someone on the phone today and I said it's spring day. And what is a spring day? It's like a coil of spring. So I went, let's jump. It's spring day. Just a bad joke. So let's see. What is the step you are going to do? And some of you guys saying already made a decision. Just start believing in myself. Start believing in myself. I like that. Believing in yourself is a good thing. Nothing wrong in believing in yourself. Nothing wrong in believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself because you know what? No one else can believe in you the way you do. But what is the actual step you are going to take? What is your full reality? What is that step you're going to take where you know you're probably going to fall? And in the midst of knowing you're probably going to fall, you still take the step. Are you ready? Let's do it. In the chats, connect with me. Find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube, find our website, wherever you are. Connect with us in the comments, link up with us, click on the follow, click on the like, click on the subscribe button, whichever buttons you have in front of you. Every Monday from 7 o'clock, I'm going to be live, and every Monday, we're going to give you a little bit of a key to unlock your own limitations. We're going to take you from where you are to the next level where you know you can be. I trust that on tonight's session, you got something from this. And I trust I will see you guys again. What a way to start a week. What a magnificent way to start a Monday. Man, what a way to start a week. Let's start it together every week, 7 to 8 on this platform. I'll never finish it after 8. I'll always keep it in either an hour or less than an hour. Let's start being amazing together. Because here's the thing I believe in. I don't think any human being on this planet has achieved full magnificence completely on their own. I don't believe that for one moment. I believe we are created as a community and we can stand next to each other, shoulder by shoulder, brothers and sisters together in unity, moving forward. So, join us on the next episode of Limitless and let's walk together, stumble together. Let's just embrace this amazing journey of life together as we move from where we are to where we can be. Be blessed, everybody. Thank you for joining me, and I hope I will see you guys soon again. Have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.